Welcome back to another video of leadership development, specifically transitioning from an individual contributor role to the first management position and really developing some solid leadership skills and traits and behaviors, forming them into habits. And today, this is going to be a slightly longer video because I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into the ingredients that you need to really have a team that can be developed into a high performance team. I have distilled 4 distinct areas that you need to cover to really build a high performing team. So the first one is looking at the external elements of the team. I already spoke about this very briefly in an earlier video. So anything that is external to the team is focused on its structure, its duration, its setup, its relationships, its interfaces into other organizations. It's the framework. And it's, of course, all the processes, but it also covers all of the other tangible things that you're really looking at when you have a team. So this is about, do I have a real team? Do I have the right people with the right skills and competencies? Defining what skills and competencies are needed. An additional element, of course, is anything that is related to rewards. And there is a lot of research and science around rewards, whether they actually enhance intrinsic motivation or whether they actually stifle intrinsic motivations. So some research actually has shown very clearly that once you start paying people for something, they are not doing it with the same level of intrinsic motivation, with the same level of enthusiasm from within. So careful. Then the next thing is that I want to talk about is anything that is internal to the team. So this is sort of like the interpersonal relationships. This is the psychology, the behaviors of the group. And it covers individual personalities. Now, one thing that I would like to throw out at this point in time is if you have a team that is an exact set of clones of yourself, you probably do not have a great mix for innovation or for cooperation, for covering all the different areas that you need to cover with a team. Then the next area I would like to cover is metrics. There's got to be a certain amount of metrics in place so that you can actually navigate. So the main reason I would actually put metrics in place is you need to navigate. And you don't necessarily need to navigate post-mortem. So reviews is one thing, but shifting your measurements to shorter and shorter cycles so that they become more real time, because only things that you observe while the period is going on can actually be impacted, can actually be mitigated and worked on. So doing something after the fact is only sensible when you have established a solid process for root cause analysis and for countermeasure development so that you can effectively mitigate and prevent the same shortfalls or the same mistakes or the same process breakdowns from happening again. And then the last part actually is, or the last section dimension is the team leader. It's you responsible to make these 4 things sing properly together. So these things are centered around who are you? What kind of person are you? What are your personal preferences, strengths, and weaknesses? And what else do you need in your team to potentially cover any kind of gaps you may have in your skill set or in your behavior setup? And this is really an important part. So understanding yourself, but then, of course, you need to navigate within the wider organization. So you are essentially the translator of your team's performance into the wider organization, but you're also the translator of the organization's expectation into the team. And then, of course, at the center of all of these 4 dimensions is the high-performing team, which is the objective of good leadership. So it's the responsibility of the leader to actually facilitate an environment where the team actually can thrive, can grow, can trust and build accountability. But you're also responsible for understanding the processes, the structure, the framework, the connections to the outside world. And you need to implement, in conjunction with the team, a system of metrics that allows the team to effectively navigate and also mitigate shortfalls. Please remember, every forecast is a prediction of the future. And none of us has really a crystal ball. So there may be many things that are impacting the results of what your team is doing. So always expect you're going to be off track. And you can be off track in the positive, which actually then begs the question, should I be pouring more oil to the fire? And then, of course, you have shortfalls where you need to close a gap. And that needs to be clear. You need to be able to clearly articulate, and you need to be really training with your team to do proper root cause analysis. All of these 4 things really are the key ingredients of a high-performing team. So if you want to know more about this, I would invite you, reach out to me, leave a comment, or send me an email at win, W-I-N, at clipper.how, CLIPPER.how. If you want to know more about this, if you want to learn more, thank you for your attention. This was a long video, so thank you also for your patience, and hope to see you next time. Thank you.